Yeah! So, I don't have my microphone with me, but I thought I'd film a little bit while I'm at work because, yeah, this is like the star film, the room where we get to chill. But the last few days they've changed it. Every time I come in, it's been a different layout, and it's really weird. It's nice. This is where I do a lot of my reading, a lot of my beta reading, a lot of, yeah, just any reading. Um, what have I got to talk about? Last couple of days, I've realised it's not just me being a mood reader, it's a mood everything. So I got back into Below Deck. I'm on season 4 Below Deck Med. I'm like following them in order because some of them cross over and things. And I love the drama. The drama, it's so good. But it has to be a mood. So it's a mood watch. I did get back into Ozark for a little bit on Netflix. And I'm so excited because season 4 is coming out tomorrow, and oh my goodness, and I'm on holiday for 4 days, so I cannot wait. I'm gonna be binging the heck out of season 4, as well as relaxing, going for a walk with my granddad, hopefully, and going out for lunch and a drink with him. And yeah, just relaxing, catching up with stuff for you guys, planning my new channel, and starting stuff off with that. And so I've finished the little, well, I called it a novella, it's a short story by Loris, The Rive Hunter. Sort of, it's going to be an anthology of 8 stories, which kind of bridge the gap between where we start the main series and where we find him at the beginning of these appendices kind of short stories. And it's really cool, guys. It's really cool. I barely had a thing to say about it, like because I think it was solid around the editing that I would read the really, I would read the hell out of that. It was really good. There's like some stuff I'm reading just because I've committed to it and things, and other stuff is like I'm reading it because I need to. And this was one of those things. This was really good. So Loris, you've written a wonderful wonderful little short story. I can't wait to see it out in the world, and I'll be continuing today my beta read of Buzzard's Bowl, by John Palladino. We've just had this kind of crazy mad kind of beginning to part 2, so John's kind of ramping up again. I get the feeling that part 2 is just going to be kind of hit the pedals of the metal insane, which I'm loving. And John's really, the names, I think I mentioned this in the last one, but the names, guys, the names, I just laugh out loud. Have I talked about On the Wings of Quasar, which I've been catching up on the audio, which is by T.A. Bruno, and it's a fantastic sequel. Because I was a little bit hesitant at first, right? Because I thought, well, like, it's moved on from the main characters of the first one, and they're kind of there as the parents, and it kind of follows the kids. And I thought, it's another one of these ones follows the kids, and it's not going to be as good and things. It's actually blown me away. It's almost like a legacy sequel in a way, even though it's kind of built as part of a trilogy. It's not something that TA's kind of gone back to after 10 years, but it feels very much like that, like this passing of the torch. This world is just expanding. The mythology, the biology, the ecosystem is just beautiful. It reminds me of watching Avatar for the first time. It's just so vivid, and I think that comes from TA's wonderful ability as a visual artist as well as a storyteller, a very gifted storyteller, and it's fantastic. It's got a little bit of everything in there, so that's really exciting. So I can't wait to get a review out for that. I've got so many I need to review. I need to review Justice of Kings. I need to review Wistful Ascending. I need to review 11th Cycle. I need to review what's the other one? Sword of Wrath and Mercy. Justice of Kings will get its own video, because Justice of Kings just blew me away, straight to the top of the pile 2023. So I've got loads of exciting things coming, got more to share with you guys. I'm going to share my thoughts on season 4 in the coming days. So yeah, hopefully these vlogs will become a little bit more structured, but for now, this is just testing the waters, and hopefully you guys find these interesting. just to kind of get a catch up, hear my thoughts and things. I've got some exciting things to share on the travel front. Um, and yeah, I can't wait to get more and more out to you guys. You can probably barely see me, but I just had to stop and film this. I'll go a bit closer, you can see me. I'm on my way back from work. I got my jacket on. It's a nice night, actually. I know. That's the light. I was going to try to show you the moon. It's a really nice night, and I love nights like this. It's still, it's quiet, it's probably because it's nearly midnight. And I'm just listening to On the Winds of Quasar by T.A. Bruner, and I'm in tears because it's just so beautiful. And recently I've been on a travel bend and sort of looking up about that and getting excited about my future and things, and I was listening to it On the Winds of Quasar, and there's this part without spoiling it where the two main characters are exploring Kamaria, the planet, and they're basically trying to find their way back home. That doesn't really spoil it, it's on the blur. And it's like they're getting to see so much of the world, so much of the wildlife. It's so beautiful, and there's like this mirror lake that they're going to, and it reflects the stars, and there's this idea that sort of everything is connected, that everything sings a song, that everything resonates, and it's something that's also similar in a way, but very different as well to Johnny Wirtz's series, Wars of Light and Shadow, great series. But it plays with the idea that there's this connection, this kind of frequency, this music to the world that not everyone can hear, and only the locals, the natives, the Oknai and the Oknell can kind of hear this song. And Cade, one of the characters, kind of wonders, can humans hear that song too? Can they learn to hear the song of the stars? And there's this cute little like elephant kind of thing that they found, they've taken, and it's kind of like Kevin from Up, and oh my goodness, my heart, and I just want to be on this planet. And I was just thinking, like, imagining myself there as I go home, and then I started to kind of cry because I realized we have so much beauty on our planet. We have so much there to explore, and I'm gonna be so privileged to go and explore some of that in some of the best, most incredible places in the world, meeting some of the most amazing people, and I cannot wait. But we're also losing that, and it just made me realize that, I don't have to go into a book. It's there for us, but we're losing it. And just the thought of being able to experience that beauty, but also the loss of that is, yeah. TA, you've done a bang up job. This is going to be one of my favourites of the year, hands down. Justice of the Kings got off to a great start, but I think this is my favourite one as I'm going through because of the emotions it's making me feel. Perhaps Justice of the Kings, I think you could argue, is, well, I think you could argue that Justice of the Kings is a tighter book, but On the Winds of Quasar, book 2 of the Songs of Kamaria, it takes me on a journey. It makes me feel, it makes me care, it immerses me in another level. I mean, Justice of the Kings was great, but it didn't immerse me to this level in the world building because that wasn't what was on show there. But this is what's on show here, this world, and it's so lush, and there's so much, and just this idea of this interconnection of everything, this kind of ecosystem where everything is in harmony, and the fact that even the humans who are interlopers to the planet, they emit a song, they join that harmony, that chorus. I think it's just beautiful, and I just needed to share that with you guys because it's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful book. So, I'm back here. It's a wonderful day. I don't really know how much you saw of that video last night. I'm going to do my best to clean up the audio and turn up the brightness. But I just wanted to get my thoughts out on was a beautiful, beautiful book, and every part of it really is fascinating. There was perhaps a little bit of time where I thought, I kind of wish it would get on now, just like maybe 1 or 2%, and then ever since then, it's just been full speed ahead. Seeing the world building of Kamaria, it's similar to the way that Of Darkness and Light expanded upon the world of Etheria uh from of Blood and Fire to Of Darkness and Light. It's just a whole new level of the world building. This ecosystem, this whole biology, it's thriving, it's living, it's vibrant. But there's also this sense of this spiritual connectedness, which just really just fascinates me and really hits me right there in the heart. And this book is really, it's wonderful, but it's not just about that. There's also some wonderful kind of space horror-esque sequences, and I love that about the first one. I love movies like Alien and stories like that kind of replicate that kind of first contact vibe, where it's like asking these deep philosophical questions, but then there's like this kind of horror involved, and TA hit that in the last book, and I was surprised to find he's hidden that in the second book, while still feeling like, pardon, epic fantasy. It's got very similar vibes to, as well, of Engines of Empire. There was an arc in that book where a character gets lost in the wilderness and has to survive and meets locals. And actually, that is a trope that I really enjoy. I will unashamedly say that. I really enjoy that. So, I am just certain this is my favourite book of the year so far, I think. I said it last night, but in case you didn't hear, I'll put it in that Justice of Kings may be slightly more polished, perhaps. There's really not much difference, but I would say Justice of Kings maybe felt slightly tighter, but the journey that in the orbits, on the Winds of Quasar in the Orbit of Silence is book one. So the journey that on the Winds of Quasar is taking me on is just unforgettable. It's really my favourite book of the year so far. I mean, we've been hitting some bangers because I've been reading Ships of Meria by Janny Wirtz, which is just fantastic. And these sequels that I'm reading, they are step-ups on the previous book. So Ships of Meria, which I'm feeling in the mood to start again today. I'm excited. It brings more humour and shines a light on more world-building. Same with this, as I said, on the Winds of Quasar. Of War and Ruin is once again stepping it up. Although I've hit a low in that with my reading. That's not to do with Ryan's writing. That's just, the reading. Just kind of getting burnout and things. And Buzzard's Bowl, the beta read that I'm doing for John Palladino. And that's kind of stepping up, not necessarily in terms of the writing. I think the writing shows more confidence, not necessarily a major kind of step up in the writing. But it's John's command of tone and his tone as an author that really kind of sets it apart. And he really leans into that in the second book. And so I'm about 69% through the book. So about 70% of the total book. And so I'm loving that. And so I've hit some great reads this year. Of course, Wolf Eater, hitting this really philosophical, character-driven vibes, which is inspiring me to come up with my own kind of content for that, which hopefully over the next few years I can kind of work on that and share more about that. Then also today, this morning, guys, Season 4 came out, and I've started watching episode 1. I've got the last 15 minutes to watch. And oh my goodness, within the first couple of minutes, it managed to infuriate me because it brought up the age-old debate of fantasy. Is it proper literature? Because Joe, or as he's known now, Professor Moore, I think it's Jonathan Moore, he's masquerading as. And have a look at this, guys. I don't know if you can see out there. Beautiful, beautiful day. And he's masquerading as this American professor, Jonathan Moore, living in London. And I won't go into spoilers, I promise. This is all stuff you learn in the first few minutes. And these pretentious British university students were like, fantasy is not proper literature. And I was already like, whoa! Yeah, I gotta be honest. At first, I was kind of finding that maybe it jumped the gun. I really loved season 1. Season 1, I think, is my favourite one because it was a surprise, it was twisty, it was soap drama-y, soap opera-y. It kind of hit that without being a soap opera, which I'm not really into. It kind of pulled a thriller and a soap opera together, but in a way that made it feel semi-classy, semi-respectable. And then, oh, my arm's getting tired. this is why I need a stick for the camera, for the phone. And then this is going to get tired quickly too. Man, this view, I need to show you guys this view with the proper camera. I'm going to stop and show you the view. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing as I record. This is what I see. I'm going to go back to you in a minute. Not you, the viewer, you the TV show. Yes, I might show you guys around one of my walks that I do later, which will be really cool. I love it. And let's see zoom. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Go back. There we go. Anyway, back to you. Well, no, it's back to me, but I'm talking about you, the TV show, season 4. Yes, and it kind of grated a little bit, the narration. So season 1, let me start again. So season 1, loved that. Season 2, I pretty much loved that, right? I think it compared favorably, or at least very well, to the first. Season 3, it was good, but I was starting to feel it. Season 4, the start of it, and the narration, and the thing is, it didn't feel like it flowed very well. Like, there wasn't a natural pause in the narration, and there was a lot of exposition to get through. And then there's flashbacks because, of course, the last time we left Joe, we saw him, he was in Paris, and so we kind of get to see a little bit more of that and how he got over to London and why he's there. And then it kind of got into it, and it got interesting, and it's basically kind of taking the mick out of like rich, upper class, snobby, young brats, basically. And then I won't spoil what happens, but I'm now semi-hooked. There's a hook about a decent chunk through. I'm not going to spoil exactly when, and I'm going to watch at least the first 5 episodes. I really want to like it. It's just kind of what else am I watching? Oh yeah, Last Kingdom. I'm watching Last Kingdom with my dad, which I really love. So we watched season 1 already, and we're watching season 2. And the first episode, not much happened, and I was kind of scrolling a lot. Second episode, actually a lot kind of happened, and I've got the first book now because I loved the first series, and it's really nice. It's special for me that, you know, me and my dad, we don't always do things together. I'm at work a lot, he's at work, and then, you know, when I'm off, I'm recording, I'm reading, and meeting, like, doing other things, you know. But what we do is we go and walk sometimes, but also we go watch The Last Kingdom together. We watch stuff together. So there's not really much communication going on, but it's nice just to, you know, do something together. And we both have a shared love of history, and I think it's amazing that as Brits we have this really cool history, and I think it's something that we often take for granted. I mean, when I was talking with Jeff Spates on my channel, go check out the interview, a wonderful interview, and not as many people have seen it, and I think Jeff deserves to be spotlighted and highlighted more. He's a wonderful author and a wonderful friend and a wonderful guy. And we were talking, well, we briefly kind of mentioned the fact that for Americans, it's like anything more than 200 years old, they're like, whoa, ooh, uh-oh, is you right? Oh dear, they're all right. Yeah, and we're like, for Americans, it's like anything more than 200 years old. It's like, whoa, that's crazy. Things exist that long. And for us, we're like, oh yeah, we've got this 800-year-old castle that's just over the hill. Like, I mean, it's not quite like that, but it feels like that sometimes. We have an amazing history. So if you ever come to the country, I would say I would show you guys around, but I'm probably not going to be here because, well, I live right near Heathrow at the moment. So anyone passing through, authors, friends, people want to say hi, DM me, or you find me on Twitter, leave a comment here. I live 15 minutes from Heathrow. You can definitely catch up for a drink or something until I leave the country for a few years, in which case I won't be here. So just don't come, because it'll just be my dad and he probably won't be very happy. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of the catch up. So I want to read a bit of Ships of Merry later. I'm going to finish You, season 4, episode 1. I still need to finish The Last of Us, episode 1. I also need to record my 11th cycle video. I need to read Buzzard's Bowl. I've got so much. You know, I've got 4 days off and I'm already thinking, wow, Monday I'm back at work. But, you know, this is the life. Well, this isn't the life. This is the life to get to the life, because I'm going to go traveling and having fun, and I don't know. We'll see what crazy stuff happens. I'm so excited to share more with you guys. So hopefully I'm going to charge up my phone for a bit. Oh no, yeah, I did a funny little YouTube video. I plan to make it longer. I might do a part 2. I did a little YouTube shorts, which was my first sort of comedy thing in a while. I've got a few ideas kind of percolating up here. The problem is that it's like often the ideas are more ambitious than what I can film. Now, oh, should I show you these pictures? I'll show you some of the pictures I have. These are all my dad's pictures, but I'll show you the cool ones. This is one of my favourite places in the world. Actually, I might turn the camera around. This is called Autumn Tints at Derwent Water. This is my favourite place in the Lake District. Now this is a famous hill. This is called Cat Bells. And this, if you know Beatrix Potter, basically on the other side of this is a town called Littletown, or a valley called Newlands Valley, and they have a place called Littletown, which is, like I said, the other side of that. And it's basically the place that's in the books of Beatrix Potter. She lived on a farm, I think it's called Hilltop Farm, on a lake called Windermere. And so over in that direction you have the Western Lakes, you have Buttermere, and this is the Newlands Valley. So you can do a trek, which is really cool, or a hike, I might say, which basically go up this, and this is the top. So this is like the bell because it looks like cat bells. I think this is the top actually. And you can do a walk where you go all the way up here, and it doesn't take long to get to top of Cat Bells. It's like a walk you could take your 5-year-old up, you know, like a first kind of mountain hike. It only takes about 40 minutes. And then you can go along to what they call Maiden Moor, which is a moor at the top, and then go round and do Robinson, Hines, Scarf, Dale Head, and basically come down the other side of the valley and join back round. But this lake is amazing. And then over there in the background is Scarfell Pike, or Scorfell Pike as the locals would call it. And it's the tallest mountain in England and Wales. And behind, to like that way, is Blencathra. So if you kind of kept zooming around, you would find probably about over there, roughly, would be what they call Blencathra and Skidder, which is a really cool mountain which kind of dominates the Lake District landscape. And now this is another one called Windermere and the Langdale Pikes. I've got so many stories I could tell you about the Langdale Pikes. This is an iconic view. Windermere, that's the lake that I was talking about, Beatrix Potter. Oh my goodness, I feel like crying. I want to go back. And leaving this place behind for years is my favourite place in the world. And this, where is this? This is Borrowdale. And it's called The Loveliest Square Mile in England by Alfred Wainwright. He was a famous hiking guide writer, who kind of popularised the Lake District. And these are what they call sheep. And they have these sheep called, of course you know they're sheep. I mean, these are Herdwick sheep. So these are what you call sheep. Yeah, Matthew. And they're native to the Lake District. They came over from the Vikings. The Vikings brought them over. And this valley is called the loveliest square mile in England. And it takes me back, and I can see the meadows and the little bridges you get. And there's some bridges that are like hundreds of years old. And last time I went there, I explored this cave. I had my head torch. I got so many things I could tell you, and I'm just reminiscing. And I miss it. I really wanted to get up this year, but I didn't want to go up on my own. And because I don't know, I just didn't feel like camping on my own quite yet. I camped with my friends last year, but cooking and camping and what if it's raining, I don't know. I just got kind of nervous about that. But it's my favourite place in the world. Even after being to New Zealand, it's my favourite kind of place in the world. It can still compare. And so I'm really kind of sad. You know, it's exciting that I'm going to go travel and things. But and for years I might not come back. And that's amazing, but it's also sad that I leave my books behind and I leave my beloved place behind. So it may be the case, I'm not sure yet. I haven't got anything set in concrete. That I may, you know, if I start to run out of money, come back, do a season, work in the Lake District, find a place, accommodation, food, or at least accommodation paid for, you know, and there's kind of less outgoings, and save up a little bit and be in my favourite place in the world. I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, it does make me a little sad. And so that's what I think of, these pictures. When I think of these beautiful places that you see in Theo Bruno's Camaria, these beautiful descriptions of the landscapes in Stormlight and in all these fantasy worlds that I know and love, I think of the places that I love, and that's why it hits me so much, because I think we are so lucky to be able to explore these places on the earth. But maybe not forever. Well, that was ending on a more somber note than I thought. Let's go watch Joe Goldberg murder someone on Netflix. I'm going to go off to finish You, Season 4, Episode 1. I'm not off to finish You. It's, yeah. I have just carried this thing about half a mile down the road. Oh, this guy's helping my dad. And I was a kid, I had it on my head, so I was carrying it like a little sort of hat for my head. And I tried to record a video, but I couldn't hold it up one-handed, so it was awful. Well, no, it's fine. I don't know why I'm saying that, I'm lightheaded. But it's the arms, because your arms are outstretched like this, and it's like crazy. I'm in my friend's Land Rover right now, affectionately called Landy. You probably can't hear me, but this is the view. There you go. Speed. This is great around here. Oh. Yes. Yeah. Mighty Landy. See ya. That was really cool. That was really fun. I met up with a friend and we worked out. We hadn't seen each other in about 4 years, and yeah, we just caught up and went for a bit of drive. Went to the pub, and it's really nice. And then I might go see my old school, and it's really fun. So all in all, I've had a great week, and yeah, and hopefully when you guys see this, you're going to enjoy it and enjoy some of the content I put out. This is kind of a little sort of microcosm of what I hope my content will be, kind of the fun stuff I do and sharing about my week when I go traveling and have adventures. So obviously that's going to be a little bit more exciting, hopefully. But this is kind of like the start of my journey as I turn on the light so you can see me. This is kind of like the start of my journey as I travel, look to travel around in the future. I'm just going to do one more little thing, give you a little update later on of where I'm at with my reading and things, and then go editing and get it out to you guys. What is up, guys? I'll be honest, you know, I'm just tired. This week's been really tiring. Last couple of weeks I've not been doing too great. Just been dreaming a lot of the future, but you know, I need to keep myself in the present and just trying to keep the passion for reading going. I'm in a bit of a slump right now, not because of any books I've been reading that have been negative or bad or anything. I just, you know, it kind of reflects my mental space right now, and I like being honest and real with you guys. But I did pick up again. It's Ships of Merior, which is fantastic read. I'm loving that. I need to pick that up again. What else have I'm not really reading much else. I've got so many things that I think it's just a bit overwhelming. Like, I've got so many things I need to read, and then now I'm thinking, oh, flip, like when I'm moving away in 18 months, that I'm gonna, all the books that I haven't read, like I've got physical editions but not Kindle editions, I'll leave them behind, you know, and some of them I've got authors that I've committed to, you know, reading them, and they've sent them to me, and I'm very grateful for that. But I feel like, oh, I need to finish them, and there's like a massive list of like priority ones that I need to get to, and it's a lot, and then planning content for the new channel, and trying to edit and learning this. So I'm learning this new editing software, DaVinci Resolve. I tried it before. It's professional editing software for free, and it just wasn't as intuitive as the trial that I had for Final Cut Pro. And then I was using iMovie, but I want to upgrade my videos and learn for when I go traveling and things, and when I do my expeditions this year and next year. And it's like $299 to get Final Cut Pro, and DaVinci Resolve, the free version, is probably better. It's just a little more difficult to kind of learn on the way. So I feel like if I'm going to be looking to kind of, I feel like why, if I can get that for free, why would I be spending $299 on that, or asking people to help kind of fundraise for that, to see my new adventures. I don't feel that that's actually that fair. So I'm gonna start editing on DaVinci Resolve, and hopefully after 18 months I've kind of got a bit of a hang on it. Yeah, I don't really know what I'm gonna be reading next. I kind of been flicking back and forth. I'm coming to the end of Buzz's Bowl now. Buzz's Bowl is pretty good. So it's not perfect writing. It's not amazing writing. It's the plot and the inventiveness and the uniqueness that makes it for me. And so I'm really, really excited to get over to John Pandino. It's a shame I was going to be beta reading for NC Crucis again, and doing his second one. I think I'm going to have to decline, because I'd feel really bad if I was holding him up, and I feel like I need a little bit of break before I dive into anything. And there might be some more coming up in the future, and I don't want NC to hold his book back on account of me. I feel like I'm not in the kind of frame of mind to kind of do that. What else? I really need to get my 11th cycle video out. I did play some more God of War today. It's good. I mean, I know God of War as a series is known for its like just fighting, and that's not much else to it. But it does feel like a little repetitive to me. I only played it for a little bit, sort of half an hour today. But I'm excited. It's a good story. I'm kind of having really fun, actually. Normally I'm just someone that plays through the game because I really like stories and getting that plot, and I don't really like kind of just doing random things. But actually I'm having a lot of fun right now, just kind of exploring. I'm on the lake with the giant world snake thingy, the Yumagopman deer, yeah, whatever, yeah, whatever that is, the wheelie snaky thingy, and I'm never going to attempt that again. Yomagamente, no, I don't even know. And that's really cool, and I'm just having fun, kind of floating around there and doing different things, and I kind of don't want. I want to play the game. I want to extend the game. But yeah, other things maybe I haven't talked about this week. I say that I went and I spent some time with my step granddad, and I went to the pub with him for a few hours for him and his sort of friends. Let me up in the pub twice a week, and they're the typical kind of old fellas, and it's really interesting to kind of hear the stories they have to tell, and things, and just kind of shake up that atmosphere. And even though I wasn't very productive, I wish maybe that I'd been able to record some of that, because some of them have really kind of interesting tales to tell, and as you guys know, that fascinates me. That's part of what I want to do in the future, is to kind of go around and hear people's tales and get to share them with you guys, and share the adventures that I find and the stories that I hear. So that was really fun. It's nice sometimes just to take a day like that. Other than that, I'm just kind of, yeah. You guys can probably tell I'm not as high energy. I'm just kind of floating. I'm like in a floaty bubble. I'm just, but the bubble's not floating. It's just hovering in midair. It's like I'm trying to float upwards, but I'm just kind of stuck. So I hope next week's gonna be more interesting. I'd love to get out and show you guys some of the areas. So I get Thursday off. I might kind of go out on a walk and show you guys that on Thursday. I usually my 11 cycle video. Uh, yeah. Hopefully, as things go on, these vlogs are getting more heavily edited and more interesting. But I don't want to edit and make my life seem what it's not. I just want this video to be kind of me talking to you in different locations, sharing the fun that I've had, and if I've had nothing fun, just sharing about the books that I read, the things that I enjoy, and what have I enjoyed this week. I've learned so much about the world and all the cool things that are out there. I've learned how easy it is to go do that. If you really try and really kind of plan it and make it work. I've had time, just spending, recuperating, re-energizing myself. I spend time with my grandparents, and that's super important to me, because they're not going to be here forever. And when I go next year, the end of 2024, I probably won't see them in person again. And that's difficult. But I gotta go do it. I gotta take the chance. I gotta do it. And it's crazy stupid because I don't have a retirement plan once I quit this job. When I'm in New Zealand, I guess I'll try to save 5% of my salary. But once I'm off a working holiday visa, I'm not saving. If I'm traveling, I'm spending. I'm not saving. It's kind of scary. I don't know what I'm gonna come back to. It's crazy, and it's what I got to do. I got to take a chance and meet the people out there, meet the world out there, and as much as I love books and reading, get my head out of the books a little bit and see the adventures in the world, so I can spend time in my books and having adventures there, but I can also spend time seeing the adventures in front of me. And I think that's something really special. And as I move forward and I want to be sort of in film and TV and creative arts, and I think there's nothing better to do than if I can't be in that right now, to kind of go and experience life. And that's something you can't get from just studying film and mise en scène at university. You can't do that, and it's what my grandparents are super excited for me, and they want me to go, and if something happens to them, they want me to stay out there, because they know it's my dream, it's my life, and I can't wait, and it's scary. And this whole week, that's kind of what this week's been like. It's like a scary. It's like adrenaline. I'm excited. I've got lots of cool things happening. I've got lots of cool things I'm reading. I've got lots of cool things that are in the future. Lots of cool plans. Like, it's exciting, but it's also terrifying at the same time. And so I don't know if this is boring you or if this is fascinating, but I just want this to be me. And hopefully as I start this new channel, then I'll kind of start to separate the book stuff and the life stuff, and do more of that on there. But every time I come on, I want you to know this is me. And I think I'm just going to stop editing my stuff quite as much, and stop worrying about, I need to cut my videos down, or I need to stop rambling. But cause that's me. That is me. I can be organized, as you can see in my reviews. I can't be concise, but I can structure things. But also, I like being free. I like being me. And so you're going to see everything. All that's going to be me. The good, the bad, for better or for worse. This is me. Thank you for watching, guys. See you next week.